So at this point, we all know that Saints Row ain't that good with the flow. I was gonna try to make the intro rhyme, but that's the best I could do. As we all know, the game received pretty terrible reviews, and the user reviews were not much better. This wasn't one of those cases where journalists didn't love it, but gamers actually loved it, or vice versa. It was just agreed that Saints Row was not a very good game. One of the major reasons for that were major technical issues that plagued the game at launch. When it dropped back in August of 2022, this game featured massive stuttering issues, terrible enemy AI, broken quests, boss fights without bosses, and I could really keep going. This game was an utter disaster when it launched. However, you guys know me. I like to test these games after they launch to see if they're still as broken as they were or if they were eventually patched and fixed. So today, I am trying Saints Row so that you don't have to see if they fixed it after all of the patches. And already looks like we're off to a great start. Now, a quick word about Volition, the studio behind this reboot of Saints Row. Turns out the executives behind Saints Row's reboot were not that thrilled at the performance of the game. So much so, they actually decided to take Volition as a studio and fold them into Gearbox as basically a support team or co-development team within that company. So Volition is no longer its own group, not doing its own thing. Now they have a full-time babysitter that's going to make sure they don't screw up this badly again, because across the board, this did not sell very well. Reviews were terrible, and people all agreed that this game simply wasn't it, fam. But for real, how bad could it be? Well, we're going to find out. First things first, apparently there are no save backups, which is great. I definitely played this game back in August, and upon re-downloading it, I don't have save games, which kind of sucks. Huh, okay, I don't know why that would be. Okay, well, anyway, I guess we'll just start at the top, Entrepreneur, the default difficulty, and we're gonna see how this is. We're gonna see what's happening. Already, performance seems pretty good. We're at 4K. We have ray tracing stuff turned on. Seems to be running pretty well. That's good news. Yeah, nothing bad so far. I know we're only like a few seconds in, but by this point, when the game launched, it was already like showing major signs of problems. So I guess we'll take this as a win. Now, as for selecting our character, I'm just gonna go with something pretty standard, nothing crazy. Oh God, I forgot at just how weird the gunplay is. It feels like straight out of the Xbox 360 gen. It's like super stiff, and then there's also just a ton of bullet spread. The guns feel like water guns. It just doesn't click right. I don't know, man. It's just freaking weird. It also feels like the audio balancing is not super tight. It's not how you'd think it is. So I'm gonna turn the volume up. The music is oddly quiet with the voices really loud, with the ambient sound effects really low. It's just not balanced quite right. Now, one thing I do want to discuss is just the value proposition here, because a lot of people will look at this and be like, honestly, the game looks graphically pretty good. It seems to be running pretty well, honestly. What is the big point of drama? What's the issue? Why is this not worth getting? And for one, that's what we're investigating, to see if it still is a never touch type of game, or if they've since repaired it and gotten it to a point where it actually could be worth your time. But beyond that, the reason why this was such a point of contention when it launched was because they were charging $70 for it. And that's a lot of money. And unfortunately, a lot of companies seem to have this idea that they can just create kind of mediocre games and sell it for 70 bucks, and we're just going to go along with it because we paid 60 bucks for games in the past. And I just don't think that that's where the market is right now. Like, I think people are much more picky with the games that they choose to commit to, and frankly, when there's a lot of mediocre titles, a game like this stands out for all of the wrong reasons. It's just not very captivating. And frankly, you can get a lot more game that's a lot better and that you're not going to be cringing at as much. I mean, look at this. This helicopter's just sitting here and you just unload until he blows up and then you're good. Like, it's just kind of going through the motions. And with video games, you hope that there's something a little more compelling than just going from A to B to C to D to, you know, it's just, I'd hope for a little bit more variability and complexity. As far as enemy AI is concerned, it doesn't seem that anybody is pushing me or trying to flank or anything. They just kind of stand there and don't do a whole lot, which I guess is better than at launch. At launch, these guys would just straight up like turn around and walk away, letting you shoot them in the back. They just lose track of you. Okay, this guy's flanking. That was good. So maybe they did make some improvements to the AI. I mean, this is frankly what you want to see. A game that launches really, really poorly, gets overwhelmingly negative reviews, and yet they still choose to go in and patch it to make it perform at least to where you'd expect it to perform if you're paying good money for it. So I'll give them credit for that. There's also some hardcore auto aim on PC that I don't remember. Do I have like some weird setting turned on? Yeah, I'm on entrepreneur, which is mid-tier difficulty. Aim assist on. Let's just turn that off. Short lock, snap lock. So there's a bunch of settings like that you can tweak. And now, okay. Well, no, even now it's tracking to his head. I'm not moving my mouse. Okay, what else do I have turned on? This is bugging the crap out of me. Why is that the default? Like, that's why the game feels so easy. You're just turning on like hand-holding mode automatically. Why would you do that? Okay, turn lock on type off completely and then lock on attraction. I guess to, it shouldn't be snapping on at all with this stuff turned off, but now does it not snap on? Okay, good, good. Now it's just me aiming, no snap on. Yeah, no wonder the game felt too easy. Jeez, why would that be the default? One of the other things is infinite ammo is a bold choice. Like, I can understand why during the tutorial section you want to have that, but it's a weird initial impression. Oh yeah, this, he just jumps on like a spaceship looking thing. Oh yeah.
Thanks for the ride. I'll see you around.
This is so weird.
We need air support now. Stand down. We don't got time for hero bullshit.
Don't worry, I got this.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, I think part of the cringe involved with this game was that it's really goofy and outrageous, but the way it's written makes it seem like the writers are taking it a little bit more seriously than they were in reality, because I just don't think it's written very well. So you just end up in this weird spot where the game's outrageous in almost every way, and yet it doesn't feel like they think it's outrageous. So it creates cringe. Like when somebody that is terrible at acting tries to act, or when somebody that's terrible at singing gets on American Idol and then tries to sing in front of millions of people on TV, and that's cringy because they think that they're really good at it when in reality they're not. And in this case, I think it's just the perception that they wrote these characters to be funny, but then it also doesn't seem like they were trying to be funny at the same time, so it just turns out really weird. It just sits oddly with the viewer. It just doesn't work. And oh god, those fade to blacks are killing me, dude. You guys know that's a pet peeve of mine, and it's like a feature in this game. They love those fade to blacks. Oh, and look right there at the top left, optimizing shaders. That's interesting. Okay, I don't remember if that was a thing in the base game when it launched, frankly, but like that's one thing we've seen a lot of studios add to their titles after launch. You know, all of these games recently have been launching with major shader compilation errors and issues where it causes massive stuttering while you're playing. And then the fix seems to be just to add a slider like that that stops you. You can't play until it finishes building the shaders. And once it's done that, the game is ready to go and you'll be set. But it seems to just completely avoid all of the problems that have plagued so many recent games. Though then again, The Last of Us Part 1 also had a slider like that, or a progress bar like that, and we all know how that went with it taking hours to compile shaders, which was god awful. Okay, and now we're actually in the game. I'm going to turn the volume down because there is some copyrighted music in here. And initial impressions, getting back into this, I think they did actually patch a good amount of it. It does seem to be running way smoother. It doesn't seem like pop-in is anywhere near as bad. There is still some if you're looking for it in the distance, but frankly, when you're playing, I would say it's within reasonably acceptable levels. I wouldn't say it's that egregious. You can see, like, if you look right above the roof of the car as we drive forward, you'll see stuff popping up in the distance like that right there. Some trees popping up, some models will pop in, some cars will pop in, but that's all pretty standard. And when you're playing the game and you're looking at your car and you have that kind of tunnel vision, most people won't notice that stuff. So I don't think that that's that egregious. I'm going to give them a little bit of wiggle room there. I will also say that at this point, the last time I was playing this game when it launched, there had been a lot more bugs. In that opening sequence, there were bugs and glitches and all sorts of weird troubles we ran into. So it seems like they've done some work. It seems like this is running better than it did before. But in this next scene, I think you're going to see why it probably doesn't matter. And that's because the problem with Saints Row are more numerous than just the technical issues. The technical issues are the ones that really took it above and beyond the level that most of us could tolerate. But the game itself, in concept, was flawed from the start. And you're about to see why.
You know what would make it smell even better?
Hey man, if you want a $300 waffle maker, you can buy it with the exposure the idols pay you in. Don't expect us to chip in.
I've told you before, the idols are trying to build a post-capitalist society where money is not a concept.
Yeah? Then why don't you go run off and join the commune?
I'm into showering. Are you gonna help me get the waffle maker or not?
Because this
As
is
an
how
investor,
humans
I don't
talk.
like wasting
you know?
money.
You're wearing a fucking bow tie.
Okay, I will throw in $20 for a waffle maker.
They're so quirky.
Good for 10?
Who helped you move your forged paintings last month?
Fine, 15.
What sort of waffle maker can I get for 35 bucks?
Presumably one that makes fucking waffles.
Hey, the wage slave is back.
How was your first day?
You
What are
mean the
other
guy with a
mercenaries you
job?
next to?
You know, as far as hired killers go, I'd give him a 7.
You look like you could use a mimosa.
Thanks, Eli.
Seriously, how's the job?
It's the murder business. The fundamentals don't change, just the uniform.
I can tell you love it.
Okay, I don't have to love it. I have to pay my student loans.
Poof, I'm in.
So I'm guessing that means the pay's good.
Yeah, it's supposed
Relatable.
to be. Got stiffed on my bonus today.
Dude, what the fuck?
I played a little fast and loose on the job, and, well, my CO wasn't a fan.
You gotta be kidding me.
Swear to God, this lady walked right off the set of an 80s action movie. I was half expecting her to call me Rook and threaten to take my badge.
Are we gonna make rent?
We'll make rent. We just gotta be a little more creative.
Last time we got creative, I got stabbed 3 times.
Hey, it would have been 4 times if Nina and I hadn't shown up.
It would have been 0 times if you were on time.
This is true. Look, this is really not a big deal. We just knock off a payday loan place. No one gives a shit if people rob those bastards.
You have a job now.
Oh,
You
that
can
makes it
actually just
okay.
take the loan.
Eli, I don't do business with morally bankrupt companies.
You work for Marshall.
Brunch is a time for friends and mimosas, not debates on morality.
All right, all right.
Dude,
Come on, this is really fucking good, Kev.
Thanks.
I'm not
I was
cutting
worried
this.
I added too much pepper.
We're just playing this.
No, seriously, this is perfect.
Because I want you to see.
Better is if you put on a fucking shirt.
Dinner and a show, baby.
Oh, please.
And fade to black.
Okay, who's ready for some crime?
Yay.
You know how we should celebrate afterwards.
Karaoke.
So the perception I have is that this was a game written by the most insufferable and annoying people possible on Twitter. Like, people don't talk this way. People don't act this way. And if they do, nobody wants to be their friend because they're so annoying. So as far as I can tell, there are basically 2 options. Either the people that wrote this game wrote it in this way with people talking this way because they either thought that's how most people talk and it's relatable, or they were doing some sort of grand commentary on the youth of America and how they're so obsessed with a myopic view of society and capitalism, that they can't get outside of that bubble and they fail to excel at life unless they participate in illegal activities. But rather, I think it's more likely that the former is true, that this was written by a group of people that think that this is how human beings interact because this is how they act. Like, this game was written by people like this cast. And I think that explains why it was seemingly such a surprise to them when this game launched and was not received well. Because as far as anybody can tell, when this dropped, all of the executives and the dev team were really surprised at the negative reception of the writing, which I find amazing. Just look at this, watch this, okay? Again, no cutting.
One of these days, I'm gonna get you to listen to music in the car.
Roger McGillicuddy speaks the music of my soul.
You are
Okay.
a different kind of cat, Eli.
What can I say? The world is full of uninteresting people, and I'm not going to be one of them. You got one of those for me?
Anybody who says that they're interesting is not interesting.
Person to accidentally shoot a friend by dropping a loaded... Yeah, okay, I don't need a gun.
Good call. Showtime.
Quirky. He accidentally shot a guy. And now they're gonna go rob a payday loan place because, quote, nobody cares if you rob those bastards. Like,
So I made them watch while I broke their dad's... Ah, shit.
Walk away, or the phrase dead-end job gets literal.
okay, he's vaping. That is funny. I'll give him that.
I don't have much. We don't want your money, just his. Get out of here.
You done fucked up.
I've been getting that a lot lately. Where's the safe?
If you're lucky, the cops will get to you before my people.
Nice left.
Been practicing.
I can tell.
Safe's back here.
Oh, God. Now, like, listen,
This guy had his password be a bunch of fives.
I understand that this is not supposed to be that serious and it's supposed to be goofy, but goofy implies like funny and entertaining, but no part of this is funny or entertaining. Like, these are just somehow archetypes for the most annoying people on earth. And frankly, if you're trying to convince me I should play your video game, I don't understand why you thought that that would be a good idea, why this would make me want to spend more time with these people. Like, if I have somebody in my personal life that comes over to my house and acts the way these people are acting, I don't invite them back. Like, I don't want to spend time with them because they're so annoying. Why would you think I'd want to spend 25, 35, 40 hours of my time hanging out effectively with these people in the context of a video game? It doesn't make any damn sense at all. But you know what? I don't want to be one of those people that's just jumping on the hate bandwagon for the sake of doing it. So I'm going to play this game for a handful of more hours off camera, just trying to enjoy it and have a good time as a regular gamer dude. And I'll be back to report how that went.
One eternity later.
So here's the deal. I went up, took a shower, tried to relax for a little bit, have dinner with the family, get all the kids to bed. And then I came back down and I kept on playing. And I started this mission called Observe and Report, which is pretty straightforward. I played it back when the game first launched. And basically all you have to do is to shoot a monster truck that's chasing you down after taking on a convoy and everything. But I run into like repeated bugs and things in this section, such as guns infinitely reloading, where they don't think that you've actually reloaded the guns. It's really, really strange. Or like right here, I'm just unloading on the monster truck and I'm going to continue doing this as we progress. And I'm just not letting go of the fire button. So on my mouse, I'm holding down the left button while scoping with my right so that we can keep the bullet spread tight. He goes behind the rocks. And I'm just going to keep doing this. So I am unloading as much damage as I possibly can with this assault rifle, which is what they expect you to use for this mission. However, you'll see as I progress and as we continue, I can't get past this bit. I actually looked it up. There's a handful of people that have run into this as well, right here, and you just die. It's really, really weird. A handful of other people have run into this as well, and their solution is to just lower the difficulty because there's an occasional bug where on the normal difficulty, you can't possibly deal enough damage with these weapons you have at this point in the game to get past this sequence. You see, like right there, we unloaded the whole time, and for whatever reason, he just runs you down. So if we go in here and we change the difficulty level down to tourist, and then we back out, now, in theory, we can get through this sequence very, very quickly without much trouble at all, which is just kind of ridiculous. I mean, we'll see if this actually happens or if it's a full-on soft lock, but it's this level of jank and lack of polish that people are frustrated by with Saints Row. Like, it's not just that the game had bugs and glitches and stuff when it launched. It's also a general lack of quality across the board. The missions aren't that interesting. The writing is pretty terrible. And when you're looking at a game that's charging full price, you have to ask yourself, what is this offering me? Like, what am I actually getting out of this for my $70? And if you struggle to come up with a value, like, why would you bother paying the money for it? Why would you bother investing the time into playing it if you have to struggle so much to even come up with an idea of why you should? Like, oh, no way, we still died, dude. Okay, I'm at a loss. I mean, this is one of those weird moments in a game where I look up videos to see if I'm just really dumb and if I'm missing something. But no, this guy has way worse aim than me. No shade, Jason's video game source. But he's not hitting his shots anywhere near as tightly as I am. And yet you see he doesn't have trouble keeping the monster truck off. Like, seriously, look, look at that bullet spread, my God. And then he gets up here, oh, Jesus. And eventually you reach a boulder, and then he drives straight up into it and doesn't die. It's really, really strange that now I'm getting soft locked and I can't get through the mission, even with more accuracy. See right there? That's what's supposed to happen. But with me just unloading and, dare I say, having tighter bullet spread and making sure that the shots are landing and everything, I'm still not lasting that long, and I don't know why. Somebody's gonna clip that now. Luke said he's not lasting long and he doesn't know why. So see, like, it's just freaking out. I don't know what to do. And this really is the worst case scenario for a video game. Like, you can't have stuff like this happening, especially not in the first 2 hours within return periods in Windows. You just can't have this kind of thing happen where the player's trying to get through the game, trying to give it a fair chance, and then a lack of quality just actively frustrates the player to the point where they don't want to bother with it anymore. And that's where I'm at. I'm like, you know what? This video is partially about me giving the game another chance to win me over. And it's also about you guys laughing at my misery. And I think this is a great balance of both. So I don't think I need to suffer any further. They've given me no reason to think that the core concept of Saints Row 2022 is better now or has been refined. And even beyond technical issues, some of which do seem to have been polished out, others, such as the quality of the missions and the consistency of their performance, leaves a lot to be desired. But setting all of that aside, the writing is not going to be patched out. The cringe is not going to be patched out. And this isn't like funny cringe, okay? It's not like Cyrax or King Cobra cringe or Chris Chan cringe. This is just bad. And I don't want to spend more of my limited lifetime engaging with it. So I'm going to stop there. But with that said, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, share it with a friend. That really helps. And subscribe, because apparently like 70% of you who will watch this video are not subscribed, which is crazy. Like, let's be friends. Subscribe. Can't hurt. Oh my God, that was so cringe. Be friends with me. This parasocial relationship, super healthy and normal. I'm just some dude sitting in a basement right now talking to glass and silicon and hoping that someday somebody watches this video. So this whole situation we're doing right now is really weird. Let's just accept that. But with that, thank you for watching. Thank you for making my dreams a reality every single day. I love you all dearly, and I'll see you in the next one. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.